Estriana, here is a video about the confidence interval question, about when a confidence interval becomes wider or narrower. You're going to have to excuse Paw Patrol playing in the background, okay? I think there were three basic questions about this. The first one was like a larger sample versus a smaller sample. So if you take, let's say you take a small sample. Let's say we were trying to find the average age of all Heartland students, and we only took a sample of 5 students. So I get 5 student ages and I average them out. Do you think that that's going to actually be very close to the true average age of all Heartland students? Probably not. So a small sample would be less precise and give a wide interval, right? This would be my small sample. I'd probably be very far off from the true value, this being the true average age. And so I would have this wide interval on where I think that the true average age might lie. But if I were to take a larger sample, if I take a larger sample, I'm probably going to get a more accurate or more precise estimate, and that would make my interval get smaller. So your larger samples give you better precision. You should be able to estimate it better, and that allows you to kind of zoom in around the true value more. So that's a smaller interval. Okay, so let's see, larger standard deviation. Standard deviation is that plus or minus amount. So if you go plus or minus a very large amount, then you're way out here. You're plus and minus a whole bunch. So anytime you have a larger standard deviation, you're going to have a very wide interval. But again, if you back that up, if you make a smaller standard deviation, you're going to have a smaller plus minus amount and thus a narrower interval. So this would be a small standard deviation interval there. And then the last one I think is the most confusing. It's the higher confidence one. So I think of it this way. If I want to be very confident in what I'm saying, let's give an example of 2 different ones actually. Let's do a 90% versus a 95%, let's say. Well, if I want to just be, actually I'm going to go back. I want to do a drastic difference because I want to make this very obvious. So I'm going to do a 100% confidence interval. If I want to make a statement and I want to be 100% confident in the statement that I am making, I have to have the largest interval, the widest interval possible. So I could say something like, I am 100% confident that you will score somewhere between a 0 and a 100% on your next test. I have very, very high confidence, and I have the widest interval possible. The only way I can say something that confidently is to give this huge interval. So high confidence gives wider intervals. Now I could back that down. Maybe I would say something like, I'm 60% confident that you will score somewhere between a 70 and an 80% on your next exam. Well, I'm a lot less confident in it because I've given it a much smaller range to fall in between. So I hope that helps clear some of those up.